Fathers, you are the heroes of your sons. Growing up, every child wants to be like his father. There are children who gets into violence, and I'm guilty of this. I once beat a kid when I was still young, for saying that my father was not what I thought he was. Because what happens is this: as a child, every child, they look up to something that they wanna grow up to become. So the idea, the element of making your father the hero just makes sense, because he is the provider of everything you ask for. Whenever a child wants anything, the father always provides. So one thing that people have to really pay attention, which is very important, there is a moment that a child will not really care about what the father is, when the hero of their life becomes their best friend, their role model, whoever that becomes. But in the moment when a child needs a father, they find themselves doing everything in a way of pleasing for attention from their parents. So you find that a child is willing to do some crazy things. They pass at school, they do some things in a way of just trying to get that satisfaction of pleasing their parents, especially the father. What happens when the mother and the father are no longer together? What happens when the parents have divorced? It means that in the child's mind, they blame themselves for being the reason why the parents are no longer together. So it means that the way they are going to work, it's of working so hard so that they get that pleasing satisfaction from their parents, so that they become that thing. They want to be that person that the parents are like. So it means working on their father's approval. It's on another level, because remember, they no longer see the father day to day, because usually 90% of the times when the parents divorce, the children always goes to the mother. I have a case that I'm dealing with right now, where my brother, who her mother and my mom are sisters, who the parents divorced, kind of. So there was an occasion where he expected to see his father, because the father lives in South Africa. So it means the element of these two people meeting, because he is in Zimbabwe and the father is in South Africa, it scares. So after 2 years, after the COVID year where the father was locked in South Africa and he was here in Zim, this was the first time when they were gonna meet in 2022. He really expected him, and I even told him I don't expect that the father will be there, and he even bet with me, and I really prayed that the father showed up, just for this guy to see the father, so that in his mind that idea of a hero kind of a father is still there. He gets there, and the man does not show up. He calls me. He came to me first, and he said, brother, you were right, the man did not come. And now this hurts, because I was hoping that this man comes. I was hoping to be wrong. Now it did not come. What happens to a child who grows up trying to create that ideal world of the father being the hero, and it turns out that the father is not really showing up when he expects him to be there? What happens? Can somebody give me an idea to that ideal world? What happens? Fathers, if you are a father out there, for example, you have divorced with the mother and stuff like that, there are certain occasions, there are certain moments when your child really needs you. You are expected to show up. You destroy the most important thing in a child's life, of making you the role model of who they want to be, if you are not going to show up in their birthdays, in the places like this. I'm talking about a man who has not been there for 3 years, who the only source of a connection was either WhatsApp, talking on WhatsApp, or in other ways. He has not been there. He expects to see him, to hug his father, to feel his spirit presence, to hear his voice close to him, to hear him talk. And the man did not show up. What happens? I want to leave you with that question, and I want you to tell me, how do you help a child in that case? I have something that I might say about this, which will come in the next video, but I want to hear from you guys. How do you deal with that case?